Hi, I'm Davey Alba
And this is Anthony Paducci.
at Popular Mechanics, and we are doing another wrap-up news week of the tech news.
Yeah, and this is all things Apple today. So you guys that are Apple lovers,
Special
get ready for
Apple
it.
edition.
We're going to start off with talking about some big phones.
Oh yeah, which is your area of specialty.
Yes, I actually do carry around a very large phone. Not the largest, but I do carry the Note 3.
So, interesting news this week. The Wall Street Journal came out with this report, and they have historically been pretty reliable about this kind of stuff, that Apple is coming out with some larger phones to compete in the phablet space.
It's smart. It's a smart move. I mean, this phone, the size of the phone hasn't changed since what, the last
iPhone
two?
5,
Yeah, iPhone
yeah.
5. So, yeah, we need a bigger phone. People
Yep.
want to see things. They also want to do more on their phone. So it's
Yeah, like
time.
what kind of things are advantages as a phablet user?
Yeah, my Note stopped me from having to carry my big tablet every day.
Right.
So now I can do more. It is way more productive than a smaller phone.
So the other part of this news is that they're actually dropping the candy-colored cases. What do you think about that?
You know what? Everybody puts a case on their phone, and if they don't, you should, because if you drop it, it's very expensive to replace. So you don't see it anyway.
The silly colors, right? Like,
It's just ridiculous. There's no reason to have Crayola phones unless you want them. So
yeah.
just go buy a case for $10.
And actually, the consumers have not bought a lot the units, so which is why
it's kind of ridiculous.
It's being dropped.
So it's a good idea that they dropped it. And then what else are we talking about? We're going to talk about the lawsuit.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So this week, Samsung, there was a big Samsung versus Apple patent case.
Again.
Which, again, happens all the time, patent wars. And this time, they ruled against Samsung for the autocomplete on a keyboard and multimedia synchronization.
Which I feel is insane. Probably setting a precedent. I don't know.
It's pretty huge. Autocomplete is on most, if not all, phones. You can enable it.
Yeah,
So-
and it's on every third-party keyboard possible. So if they rule in Apple's favor, which they did, and it goes through, nobody countersues, then those third-party launches will be taken off the market, and I won't be able to type. I'll have to type every single word,
Right.
and I'm horrible. So hopefully that'll get overturned.
Yeah, or Samsung appeals.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll appeal, and I just hope that something else can. I know the text prediction, there are a couple different algorithms, so maybe it'll be algorithm based. I don't know, but I'm hoping, keep my fingers crossed that my keyboard is not wrecked by that.
Right.
And then of course it's Apple's birthday.
Yes, it is. So 30 years ago, 3 decades ago, on January 24, 1984, Apple came out with the original Macintosh, and that has seen a lot of iterations since then, over 30 years. So
Yeah, and then new ones coming out.
yeah, and it's interesting, Apple hasn't always gotten their machines right. There was the Apple III and the Lisa, which both didn't quite take off with consumers.
No, even the Cube. Remember the Cube?
Yeah.
The Cube was, it's too bad because it was actually a nice looking and desktop. Overheated a lot, not very well. But their new one that's coming, everybody's ready. The Mac Pro.
Yep.
Very exciting because we saw it at we saw a demo of it. It was kind of about that big, very cylindrical. Looks nothing like a computer, and it's supposed to be top of the line specs. As you read the top of the line specs, should be amazing. They've never really failed on their Tower series. And of course, it's for your
Super powerful.
Yeah, real super. I mean, it's got 2 graphic cards in it, and I think the top was like over $6,000 or something like that. It was really expensive, but it should be. I think it was 4 times faster, something like that. So it's going to be pretty fast. Latest specs, latest gen, fastest thing on the market. So of course, if you need that kind of power.
And we'll be getting that in for review soon.
Oh yeah,
so we'll
very
tell you
excited
all about
actually
it.
to play with it. So hopefully in a few weeks when it's been announced, but as soon as it drops, we'll have it and we'll have a review for you.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Apple has put up a little corner of their website to celebrate, the birthday of the Mac.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. You can watch a video of sort of the evolution of the Mac through the different years. There's also an interactive timeline and sort of like this user poll where you can reminisce about your first Mac and what you bought it for.
It's kind of fun. I mean, when you see your old one and it's so gray and boring and this big, and it's got a little smiley face when something, a frowny face when something doesn't work. It's completely night and day from what we have now. It's very futuristic now.
When was your first Mac? Mine was
I probably did have it when it first came out. Yeah, I've almost
Really?
had every single computer
Wow.
that came out because I was
That's
an
impressive.
ultra
Mine was
nerd.
in 2008.
Yes.
So MacBook.
I was in high school when the first one came out, so I definitely had it, and I remember the
Awesome.
floppy disks, and I remember how long it took. So I'm glad we have what we have now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
much
the
better.
Mac Pro, much to look forward to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the wrap up of this week's news and tech. And I'm Davey Alba from Popular Mechanics.
Anthony
and-
Viducci, and we'll see you again soon.
Yep.